Daily Mass Readings and Reflection. August 23, 2023. Feast Day of Saint Rose of Lima, Virgin. Secondary Patroness of the Philippines. First reading is taken from the book of Judges chapter 9, verses 6 to 15. Jotham went to the top of Mount Gerizim and, standing there, cried out to them in a loud voice. Hear me, citizens of Shechem. Once the trees went to anoint a king over themselves. So they said to the olive tree, reign over us. But the olive tree answered them, must I give up my rich oil, whereby men and gods are honored, and go to wave over the trees? Then the trees said to the fig tree, come, you reign over us. But the fig tree answered them, must I give up my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to wave over the trees? Then the trees said to the vine, come you, and reign over us. But the vine answered them, must I give up my wine that cheers gods and men, and go to wave over the trees? Then all the trees said to the buckthorn, come, you reign over us. But the buckthorn replied to the trees, if you wish to anoint me king over you in good faith, come and take refuge in my shadow. Otherwise, let fire come from the buckthorn and devour the cedars of Lebanon. Responsorial Song. Lord, in your strength the King is glad. A reading from our Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 to 16. Jesus told his disciples this parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out at dawn to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with them for the usual daily wage, he sent them into his vineyard. Going out about 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and he said to them, you too go into my vineyard, and I will give you what is just. So they went up. And he went out again around noon, and around 3 o'clock, and did likewise. Going out about 5 o'clock, he found others standing around, and said to them, why do you stand here idle all day? They answered, because no one has hired us. He said to them, you too go into my vineyard. When it was evening, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman, summon the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and ending with the first. When those who had started about 5 o'clock came, each received the usual daily wage. So when the first came, they thought that they would receive more, but each of them also got the usual wage. And on receiving it they grumbled against the landowner, saying, these last ones worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who bore the day's burden and the heat. He said to one of them in reply, my friend, I am not cheating on you. Did you not agree with me for the usual daily wage? Take what is yours and go. What if I wish to give this last one the same as you? Or am I not free to do as I wish with my own money? Are you envious because I am generous? Thus, the last will be first, and the first will be last. Reflection for today's Holy Gospel. Am I not free to do as I wish? can we allow choice to be so good to everyone? The parable of the workers in the vineyard highlights that we do not earn God's graciousness and generosity. It is a pure act of benevolence on God's part. God's love is unconditional. It depends on Him, not on our good works. When one prospers, it is because the Lord granted it. To the Lord belongs all things: strength, talent, health, resources, and He disposes of them according to His will. We owe it to grace whatever we receive from the Lord. It is not only God's disposition to do good for us when we do not deserve it. God's grace is also a power from God that acts in our lives and makes good things happen in us and for us which we also do not deserve.